Hey boys and girls, welcome to Munro Live. This is the brand new BMW.
iX xDrive 50.
There you go. How much better could it be? So this is really and truly my second look at it. Last night I walked through the shop and I got a chance to see it before Cory took it home last night. He's going to tell you a little bit about the ride and drive. I personally, my first impression was this is a pretty nice car. Now this costs about $100,020.04 or something.
$104,020.
$104,020.
But the base price is $83,200. So this one's fully loaded.
Yeah.
It has the air suspension, I think the rear steering, technology package. It has the Bowers and Wilkins stereo system. So these press vehicles we get from BMW are always fully loaded. But Sandy, what do you think of the styling? Like,
well,
to me,
let's start at the front, okay? Now, I will tell you, I like BMW cars. I've driven them. I used to drive a Jeep, but this is what I aspired to. I just either couldn't afford it or couldn't justify it. And I'm telling you, this thing looks, to me, stunning. Now, Sue, not so much, and Cory?
I think it's too much of a blend between the old BMW i3 and then the traditional BMW look.
No.
Look,
there's nothing on the i3 here.
It's in between. Look at this. What is this? It looks like it's painted on. I don't like that.
It's just styling. And as far as I'm concerned, they're trying to get some of the styling cues to get across to to the buyers of BMW. But I personally, if this would have come out when the BMW i3 instead of the BMW i3, I believe that BMW would be on top of the planet. They would be the real contenders against Tesla. This thing to me looks like a BMW. It's got a lot more razzle dazzle than a BMW has. Actually, one thing rings were at the front. I love this. This is a great idea for
your washer
fluids and whatnot. And we tried to talk. I have something from 1991 trying to talk Chrysler into doing something exactly like that. So the reason that this is here is because this hood does not come off. This is a fixed bonnet.
They're for service only.
And people have been continuously talking to me about, it's agonizing to have to answer this stuff over and over again. Oh, how do you maintain an electric car? You don't. There's nothing to maintain. It goes, and that's it. That's nothing else to maintain. This is a great idea. If you're not going to have a frunk, get a fixed bonnet, and that's a good idea.
And Sandy, while we're at the front, I want to talk about something from driving it yesterday. In the U.S., we have horrible lights on our vehicles, but in Europe, the lights are way more advanced. These laser lights, so it says BMW laser lights, when I pulled into my yard and there were some deer and I turned left, it lit up the whole left side of my yard. As I'm driving around a curve, the lights follow the curve. These were the most phenomenal lights I've ever seen. They weren't the grid array, but they were like the laser lights, and holy, amazing lights.
For people who don't know, headlamps now are one of the most expensive parts of a car. You cannot believe it. Used to be that they would be about 30 to 50 bucks, something like that. Now, I don't know, a couple of hundreds of dollars. These European lights, they really go to the moon. This is really, this is something I wish we had. If actually for driving, I wish we had the European paint on the expressways. It's dazzling and it really looks good. And with their headlights and whatnot, it even is better. But back to the car.
Yeah.
I think what we need to do here is,
what about fit and finish, Sandy?
The fit and finish on this, I looked at it last night. This is just brilliant. Look at how tight this is, and you can see the seal. Putting a black line up against something like this, or if it was worse, it would be white. Putting that black line in there with a seal, that's you got to be a really premium builder in order to do that and carry the day.
Sandy, let's talk about the structure of the vehicle. What's the first thing we notice right here?
Yeah, you're right.
CFRP,
That's
carbon
right, carbon
fiber
fiber.
reinforced plastic.
Yeah.
The reason why they call it reinforced plastic is because about 40 to 50% of the weight is actually a resin,
Yeah.
and the carbon fiber makes up the other 60 to 50%.
Yeah.
So, Sandy, you want to describe
Yeah.
what people are seeing here with this weave? We got some
So-
shadows
So
here.
BMW, when they did the BMW i3, that car was almost entirely carbon fiber. This has got sheet metal, it's got plastic, it's got other things that are going on. But this stuff here, this is what I'm thinking is going to be the future of car manufacture. When you look at this, you can see that it's got some sort of a pattern. That's the weave. And you can make this look like anything you want. This is a non-traditional weave. It's a little bit different than what you'd normally see in an aircraft and things like that. But I'm sure what they wanted to do was catch the feature that you see in the front. And you see what they did was they wove it. This thing's been woven so that you have this two little, what do you call it, hexagons here, okay? And if we look up in the front of the car, you've got the same deal. So what they've done is they've carried through the artwork of the vehicle. Now, okay, so I might not know everything about everything, but I do like to pay attention to how people carry the styling and the design along. And when I saw this last night, I thought, now that's really, that's going the extra mile.
Now, Sandy, another thing I want to bring up here is we just visited IIHS. We have a video that's going to come out in the future. But one thing we saw there is IIHS is doing a new crash test where they have a SUV impacting a vehicle at a higher speed. And one thing that's real critical is the strength of this B-pillar and how it attaches to the lower rocker sill, because an SUV with a higher front end can intrude further into the body. This should perform phenomenally well. I mean, we don't really like to talk about safety, but this is just something that BMW probably has thought through. And talk about a stiff and safe occupant, a tumble home. Yeah, this is great. Sandy, you want to talk about that?
Well, on the BMW i3, this area was called the safety module, and that cockpit was unbelievably strong with carbon fiber. People forget that, I mean, most of the aircraft that are being designed today are carbon fiber, 100%. The Boeing 787, which Munro worked on from literally before concept all the way to first flight, it's 100% carbon fiber, except for the spars and some of the other aluminum parts that had to be in place simply because you can't force the carbon fiber in there. This is like a rock. These aren't like these aren't like sheet metal where it'll move a little bit over time and things like that. This thing is going to be a stone forever. And I absolutely love carbon fiber. People say, oh, it's too expensive. No, it's not. If it's at 40 bucks a pound and I only need 1 pound versus, I don't know, 85 pounds and a whole bunch of spot welds, this stuff starts to come out good. And actually, we're going to be putting on, we're going to have a little video of me going to a place called CPC in Italy. And they are making sheet molded compound, SMC it's called, deals like this. So you take the sheet of carbon fiber SMC, you shove it in, the press goes down, comes back up, and it's ready to go. It's perfect, perfect. It is always going to be perfect because this is a stone. So I love carbon fiber. I kind of like, I know I'm the only one, but I really like the way this thing looks. So anyway, why don't we, while we're out here, let's have a look at the hatch.
So something that I never thought would bother me is the sound of the motor lifting the liftgate and lowering it. I bought a new Yukon, and the sound of the liftgate going up and down sounds like a squirrel caught in a trap or something. It's like it struggles. Screaming. This actually sounds nice.
I didn't even hear anything.
You can barely hear it. So there's a little bit of input for anyone who works on a hatch. The sound matters. because this is real nice and quiet.
Yeah.
Good job, BMW.
Yeah. Actually, let's talk about these because this is something I've never seen before ever.
So it's for safety, Sandy, because the whole lift gate goes up. You no longer have any lights. So if you're standing on the side of the road, you need these lights.
Yeah. And
most other vehicles, like look at this.
yeah, they come to the inside.
They're all inside, so you still have some lights exposed.
But you know what's nice about this is it actually looks to me like you could illuminate, you know, this area if you're going to do tailgating and stuff like that. I'm not sure if you can turn it on. I haven't really played with this thing at all. I haven't had a chance to drive it yet. But that's the thing I'm the least enthusiastic about. Yeah,
yeah, this is not nice. A lot of times you'll have these where it's really clear, where you plunge your hand through and pull up. This is kind of awkward.
Well, not in the fact that there's very little room in here. This has very little cargo space.
Charging
well,
cord.
that wouldn't be in there normally. That'd be at home.
And then,
although,
inflator
you know
kit.
what? In Europe, people bring their own charging cable with them all the time because in some cases, you plug your cable into a charging station. There is no cable that goes along with it. Yeah,
does this really need to be hard?
It's a bowling ball test probably.
For up here?
Well, it bounces, right? So you got to keep it from going into the rear of the car. Oh, I didn't know about that. Oh, that's kind of cool, but not full flat. Well, that means you get comfort instead of storage space.
You're right.
Yeah. So, but that makes it more comfortable, because now the front seat, or sorry, the lower part of the seat will pop up a little bit, and that gives you more leg room, and it also is better for your back. But with this out and that down, I guess you're not going to be hauling plywood in a BMW anyway. But I guess this would be enough to, you know, if you got a shopaholic in the house, you could fill that up with shoe bags or whatever you buy.
And here's a little safety requirement. With this package shelf in,
I don't think that's right.
it should be more intuitive than this.
Geez, maybe we should get some engineers. I couldn't even get it up. There you go.
So with this package shelf in, the lift gate closed, because you have this, a child could be in here. They have to have a release hatch right here, illuminated because it's dark. I find that kind of interesting, considering there's no way for them to climb out of the top to get out of the car.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you see a back area of a vehicle where a child could be in here, they have to have a release hatch. Okay. All right, Sandy, let's talk a little bit about the front seats, because that's what I really like.
All right, well, you drove it, so
Okay,
I'll take the passenger.
First thing I want to talk about is the HMI with the door. Human machine interface, for those who like to have the acronyms laid out here. This is the button to open the door. I find it in an awkward spot, particularly on the other side when you have there's like a cup to pull. I feel like the release should be in the cup or on here. It's almost like if they could put a haptic thing or something you could squeeze to open the door, but you press this button. A little awkward in my opinion, but it's similar to Tesla. Tesla has a button on the Model S Plaid.
Yeah.
Then they have these faux crystal adjusting knobs for the seat. I like this.
I love it.
For years and years, Mercedes and BMW, the German OEMs, will put the seat adjusters on the door instead of on the seat. I like this because I don't want to reach down and guess. I'm like, oh, where is it? Sitting it right here, you can adjust it, but it's really expensive to have it up on the door because you run the wiring through.
A lot more harnesses, a lot more failures.
All right, Sandy, let's...
Well, hang on a second. There's one thing that we've neglected to talk about that I think is kind of important, and that's the door handles. Now, everybody, my Rivian has got a door handle that pops open. All the Teslas, they either move in and out, or you press them in order to make them work. All they did was cut this flush and then put something in here for your hand. So I got the aerodynamics that I'm looking for. I want a smooth transition here. They got rid of the big clunky like this on the Jeep. So this, believe it or not, kills you for aero. So having something like that is another clever move to make the car more efficient and effective as far as range is concerned. So that's...
All right, Sandy, get in the passenger side. And I want to show something here. There's a little light bar right here. So when you get in, I think you can change the colors of this light bar. And then the material for the interior, I think it's a suede or an Alcantara. Carl will cover that in more detail when he does his interior review. All right.
Okay, so this is my first time sitting in this car, and I would say the seats could be classified as perfecto. These are really good. This is similar to my my Rivian. I like these little...
I love a split door.
So do I.
Reason being, you know how many times I'm driving down the road and I want to get in here and my wife's got her elbow right there and I have to politely push her out of the way to open it up.
That wasn't very polite.
Yeah, so you can have your arm on there.
I like the way they put the crystal things all the way around too. I also like this. This is a kind of a good shifter. If you're going to have something, it should be looking elegant and not so clunky and big.
Now,
So
I drove this thing home. I drove it one place and drove it back to work. This is to die for. I know Mercedes and BMW have had a lot of these controls before, but it's just so succulent. Like the feeling of the mass of the weight.
Succulent?
No, come on. Look at it. It almost has weight where it continues to roll as you navigate.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know about that feature, but I do like that.
Having ridden in a car for tens of thousands of miles with Sandy, he typically doesn't like to listen to music. I do. They have a volume roller right here, which is really nice. I don't want to turn the volume up, otherwise we'll get dinged for copyright infringement. And it just is very easy to navigate. And if you want to select something, you just press down and you can go left and right with this. And people who are watching, they're like, yes, we know BMW's had this forever, but you can still reach up here and touch it with your finger. So I know my wife had a 2011 Mercedes. It had this adjuster, but it didn't feel like this. It just feels so right.
So let me... Yeah, see here, it's got that little click. You can feel the little click bumps. So tactile feedback on here is great. So when you want what you want, yeah, that's what I thought. So it's intuitive. Everything is intuitive, how it works.
And then right where your fingers are, Sandy, there's a home button right here, or media. So you can go home, media right here. See that?
Oh,
and then
good.
for your buttons that you really want, you can do your parking cameras, home, media, navigation. They're all right here. I find this to be really, really nice. So if you're out there and you're watching this and you're making a $100,000 to $300,000 vehicle, you have to have something like this or better. Now, in a basic Chevy Bolt or even a Model 3 or a Model Y, this is extra cost. This is a $100,000 vehicle, and I feel like this matches the $100,000 vehicle. Also, USB-Cs. So you have two USB-C ports here, and you have two USB-C ports in the back of each of the seats.
No induction?
It looks like there's an induction charger right here as well.
Really?
Yep, right there.
How come they got... Well, okay, fine. I'll take your word for it. I'm going to try that out when I take it home this weekend. Yeah.
So I just hit...
So here's the deal. Why the start and stop? What the hell's for that?
Yeah.
If I've got the fob in my pocket, why do I need that? That's something that I really wish everybody get rid of.
So
Those
this
are
is
stupid.
This was an extra step, you're right. And I had to turn it on right there to be able to move the steering wheel. The steering wheel is this unique shape. It's kind of trapezoidal.
What's it kind of look like?
Tesla.
No. What's it kind of look like? It looks like the front of the car.
Oh, yeah.
Everything here is, it's kind of this, kind of that. That's a styling cue that goes right across the industry, or sorry, right across the vehicle. And I noticed that yesterday when I briefly looked at this thing. I like this. I like the fact. The only thing I don't like is this thing. See this great big doodad here?
It's for ponytails.
It's not for ponytails. So we've got a couple of women here at Munro, and they're doing this. That's not good.
What is it for?
I have no clue. But I don't have a pony. Most of the people that are going to be riding this car, if they've got a ponytail, They can probably have, you know, some servant in the back hold it.
Do you remember we toured that museum and they had a design of a vehicle for a ponytail?
Yeah, that was that convertible.
That was a Volvo museum. It was Volvo.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, my only complaint about the interior materials is they have this really nice blue suede, you know, covering right here, but right beyond it looks like a cheap polyethylene, you know, wrap on the A-pillar. Usually you'll spend a lot of money having nice A-pillars and trim up here. Yeah. I just think seeing the sun shine off of it looks kind of like a cheap, you know, cheap polyester.
Yeah, leisure suit. So that yeah, not my favorite. I do love this though. I don't know how this is going to withstand the sun unless it really is suede. If it's Alcantara, and it looks like it might be because it changes the grain structure as it moves up. This looks like suede, and then it moves on to something that. So the reason that it's got that pattern in it is so you don't see it on the windshield. Yeah. So.
All right.
Okay, one last external thing. Here's the charging door. I've never seen this before. You've got a little canister that'll open both of them up, but if you don't want to, you can open them up individually. I don't know. That looks like cost without much value. I don't think that I'd pay an extra, maybe $150 or whatever for something like that. But it certainly has an interesting feature.
This is something Elon would say. An engineer spent a lot of time optimizing something that shouldn't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if the port was created correctly, you would never need to seal off the DC charging port from the elements when you're charging non-DC. The Tesla plug, does both, so they have nothing.
So
nothing, never.
While we're standing here looking at this and talking about charge ports, dear U.S. government, why don't we stop fooling around with the existing SAE thing and go to the... I know you hate Elon Musk, but you know what? People like to have that smaller thing in their hand to plug in. It works fine. I don't know why we've got this big clunky thing. To me, if we don't do this, we're going to be laughed at like the English, where they've got a plug for your wall that's like that big, this wide, and costs $5. Why? Because they wanted to be different, because the government got involved. Okay, let's do the wrap up now.
We can wrap up right here.
Okay, we can.
So what do you think? So it's a 2022 BMW iX xDrive 50. Super complicated name, carbon fiber monocoque, all-wheel drive, I think rear-wheel steering, phenomenal interior. I like the crystal thing. What do you think, Sandy?
I like the whole damn car. Now, I'm not going to run out and buy one because this is a little too ostentatious for me. And but if I was a gazillionaire, I'd certainly consider it. I like the styling. I like the seats. I've been in the back seat and the front seat now. I like them both. Doesn't have a lot of storage, but the styling is just, like I said, if this would have come out instead of that ugly BMW i3, BMW would be second in the marketplace now. They came out with a car that was advanced as far as technology, but the styling was crap. This looks like a BMW. I don't know what it's going to drive like, but I'm expecting it to drive even better than the normal BMW. I'm assuming that, you know, they're going to keep all of the. Does this have air suspension?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so it's going to even be better than the ordinary BMWs. I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah. And one last thing, at Munro & Associates, we not only review press vehicles, we do our teardowns, and we sell reports. And oftentimes we never plug them enough, but we have a report on the 2022 Model Y that's almost finished. We're going to completely analyze the new structural battery pack. We're going to compare and contrast to the old Model Y to show all those improvements. Yeah. We also have reports on every other vehicle we've tore down. So if you've seen videos with us going over a Rivian, going over a Model 3, a Model Y, a Mach-E, we have reports. So if you're watching this, you're Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, OEM, reach out to us at sales@leandesign.com, and we're here to help. So thanks for watching, Sandy.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Stay tuned to Munro Live. We're gonna maybe have I think we're gonna be doing some interior work
Yep,
and whatnot.
everything.
And I'll give you my review of my ride and drive this weekend. Anyway, thanks a lot. See you around. And if you've got a lot of money, you might want to buy one of these things. Thanks. Bye. And as you know, I wear cowboy boots. The reason I wear them is because they make it so my back doesn't hurt. People think I'm trying to be a cowboy. I'm not. I just like to not have a sore back. Anyway, Harriet sent me some boots. I have 2 boxes here. I'm assuming 2 pairs of boots, and I'm going to open them up and try them on right here, right in front of you. That's kind of like the game. I've already picked them out because they asked me what color. Wow, yeah. They asked me what color I wanted, and I said, well, I'd like to have brown because I don't have any brown. And so I have 2 pairs of brown boots. So these are a little different because they got a square toe. Well, they smell great. Anyhow, I'm going to try these on, and I'll show you what we've got here. These must be the other pair. I wanted a pair of boots that I could wear all the time because I do get this is kind of a nice. This looks pretty good too. So let me just try these on. See what happens. Wow, these fit like a glove. Okay, so let's see what we got. Huh. Wow, these have got some kind of really nice insole. These fit perfect. Wow, these actually feel cushy. Huh. These are pretty nice. Let's try the other ones. Oh yeah, these are I can't, this insole here, this whatever it's called, this insert is really, really comfortable. Well, let me start off by thanking the Ariat people for sending me a couple of pair of boots. I love them. I'm really impressed by how comfortable they are. So thank you so much, Ariat.